Welcome to episode of Building a Lean Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C. All the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here I am. I am super excited. It's the new year. We are now live. We are super excited to have the guest that we are going to have this week. Just quick update. Please follow www.buildingaleadershipmindset.com. We have some great things here at BALM actually about to roll out within the next couple of hours and weeks and months. So you definitely want to be in for that. But I would love to introduce our very next guest today. And I'm super excited to have him on. I had a pleasure of connecting with him right before the new year and actually meeting him at my book launch. He's a chief creator, founder at High Ground Creative, and co-host with his oldest daughter of the Creative Side of Things podcast. Most importantly, he has been married for 27 years and has 3 beautiful, wonderful daughters. Javier has 30 years of experience in marketing, advertising, and branding space, And he has a proven track record in helping many companies get noticed, increase their leads, grow their sales, and elevate their brand. He has worked for large corporations, small businesses, to everything in between, from tech companies to Collegiate Sector to the construction industry. And now he runs and operates High Ground Creative. High Ground Creative is a full service digital marketing and advertising firm located in Dover, Delaware. He's around the corner. They even the playing field for businesses, giving them a competitive high ground and positioning them that seed and meet their sales and revenue goals. I am super excited to have him on, and we'll have his handles shortly. Javier, great morning. Happy Monday. How are you?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm so happy to have you on here.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Very good, very good. That was quite an introduction. I don't know what else to say. I was like, well, good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yes, you are amazing. It was a pleasure to connect with you through Emilio, through Jose, and just being able to meet you and your daughter, who's absolutely amazing. Can't wait to connect with her as well. So Javier, we had our virtual coffee. We connected on many levels, found out that we have many, comparisons, many things that we kind of are aligned in the same way. And just tell us a little bit about you and your story. Who was Javier before Javier today?
Wow. Yeah, well, it's interesting these days. I'm not Javier. I'm like Megan's dad or Bella's dad or Lisa's husband.
I love that.
I'm okay with that. That's totally fine with me. I know we don't have a lot of time here, but I'm just basically grew up in Puerto Rico or was born in Puerto Rico and grew up in Northern Virginia in the DC area. Was there all the way through college, and then moved to Delaware. I had these plans to be this professional baseball player. I played baseball in college at Delaware State, and that was going to be me. Second base for the Baltimore Orioles. That was my dream. So then in my senior year, I met this young lady, and my goals and dreams changed. I wasn't drafted, but that doesn't matter. I mean, Lisa, my wife, I met her my senior year, and we've been together since. So the thing is that that's been my purpose. Is my daughters. I have 3 daughters. Megan, you mentioned, was my oldest, is 25. I have Bella, who's 19, and Grace, who's 13. So I've been through, I want to, if you ever, in my podcast, we always talk about, I'm a Gen X and my daughter's Gen Z. So I'm 1970, 52-year-old who has gotten a late start in this world of entrepreneurship. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit in everything I've done, but I started High Ground a little over 2 years ago, and haven't looked back since. Now, I love the title of your podcast, Building a Leadership Mindset, because it's just, I've been around this recently in this world with these communities like, like CLA and AMA and Unleash You Now, and the mindset stuff, that it's so important in having that there. And to me, I just never was part of that until recently, but instinctively I kind of participated in that and did those things. But now it's really great to be around people like you and these communities that help me grow as a person from the inside out, and give me the capability to be able to give to others and be able to have an impact. But I work really hard with my business. Like I said, like you mentioned, it was a marketing agency. We have a team of 7 people right now, and we service a lot of companies, really big, to from $20 million construction companies to food trucks and everything in between. And we help them grow their businesses, and we're an extension of their company and handle their marketing in different levels and that's how we make an impact. And that's how I touch those people's lives, where those business owners that we helped, when we help them grow their business and we have a little part in that, that impacts their life and their families in many ways, in a positive way. So that's our mission, is to help individuals through that way.
I love that. And I love that impact, because that's actually, no, it was great. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want to hear. We want to hear who Javi is, what you do. But I love that you said impact, because impact is actually my word of the year. And that's what I'm looking to do. That's what I will do. I'm not looking for it. I am going to do it, because that is my mission. And
Nikki,
I love that.
You're already doing it. You're already doing it. You're already impacting lives.
Yes, I am. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And what I love about these communities is that they impact me as well. Too, just like you, Javier, I have always had that entrepreneurial spirit as well, but I've only been now actually 3 years diving like really deep in investing into myself and personal development. And 3 years ago, actually building a leadership mindset was actually born. For a year, it kind of stood stagnant, really not doing anything. And then actually 2 years, which is crazy. And just in 1 year, just getting the community that, we're a part of has definitely flourished it. But how was there any challenges through your growth before community, when you were just doing it yourself, just kind of figuring out what direction you were going to go in? What are some challenges that you faced? And was there ever a time that you wanted to give up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Weekly? No, as far as beginning. So challenges, yes. I mean, life is a challenge in itself, right? There's a saying, I didn't make this up, but, actually it's from the play Hamilton: dying is easy, living is harder, but when we make a choice to live then and impact others, life changes. For my challenges as I was growing, before we even started High Ground, were very personal. I'm one of those many people in 2007 and 2008 that lost everything. I literally, if it wasn't for family, I can see how people become homeless. I literally had a 3,000 square foot house, half an acre, 2 cars, at the time 2 girls, had a full-time job, and also had a side business doing freelance work for marketing and websites and stuff back then. And within a 3-month period, everything just collapsed. No business. I lost my job. I worked as a marketing director at a construction company. They laid off a bunch of people. We had nothing. I ended up losing my house. It was one of the most humbling days of my life when I had to walk into a lawyer's office and hand them my garage door opener and my keys to my house, the house I thought that my kids were going to be in and through growing up, and it just didn't happen. So that was a real big wake up call, because I realized, oh crap, I know a lot of people were going through this, but that began a journey for me the last decade of reinventing myself and insulating and creating things to be able to, if things like this happen, this wouldn't happen to us. And I've struggled personally with that, but for many years I was in fight and defend mode in my life, and bleed and bruise for my family, for my, just getting ourselves, straight, because we lost so much. But one thing is, my faith kept me going, and even though we lost everything, we were never without. We moved to a family member's home. My cousin, we went to South Florida, but that's because that's where he was. We tried that out for a few months. It just didn't work out. Came back to Delaware and just worked our way back. And there was something symbolic, that happened a year ago, where we bought a house for the first time since that happened. And it's not the magic in buying a house, is what that symbolizes. And to me, all this fighting and all this trying to, learning from mistakes and just trying to insulate my family gave me, as I look back in the middle of it, just fighting and trying to stay alive and trying to survive, I realized that, look, I learned things here, and now I'm in a position of surplus, and just that I don't need to take. For a long time I was receiving, but because I didn't have anything to give, not even just myself. I mean, it was really humbling as a grown man to have to. There was a time I moved into my mom's house, 2 kids and stuff. So, but you got to do what you need to do. And thank you for my loving family and friends that supported us. But I shifted and okay, I have a responsibility not to repeat this and those decisions I made back then. At the same time, I also have the capability to be around and be able to help others however I can, as I continue to grow. And that's something that has shifted in my life, where you can't give something you don't have. So when you do, you have a responsibility not to hoard, and to be able to share, and to be, however, emotionally, physically, monetarily, however that is, with others. But that struggle, I still have moments of PTSD of those, but it was, I would never want to go through that. But at the same time, it defined me in a good way about who I am. And now, as a 50-year-old, I look forward, and I believe life is starting now. Now I'm in a position that I can do good for others. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. You said, what was very important to me was that you said that, as an entrepreneur, you struggle. You can have it all one day and you can lose it all one day. But what's so important is that you kept that faith.
Yes.
Didn't give up. You could have just said, you know what, I'm just going to go back and be comfortable, be secure with a W-2, and I'm just going to work for someone else. And you know what, I'm not even going to put my family in this position again. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you're able to rebuild, reinvent is what inspires me and will inspire many, just hearing your story, because there's so many times that people go through things in life. I don't know if you were in the BALM mastermind that we had at the business boot camp. Were you there that Sunday?
No, unfortunately not. No.
Oh my goodness. He did a quadrant, and he just broke down the phases in our lives and the different age ranges. I'm going to have to share that with you offline. But, what to prepare, when your peak seasons are, and when your off seasons are, and how to prepare and get yourself ready for anything that comes to you. And I know that J.R. Spears talks about ambush and just, be ready for whatever. But what you said was just absolutely amazing, because that's really what we want our audience and our viewers to understand, that first of all, it doesn't matter how old or how young you are. There's still opportunity for success for yourself. Right. You just have to want it up, get yourself in community. And when stuff hits the fan, you just have to embrace it and see what worked, what didn't work, and just reinvent. You can reinvent yourself every day. It doesn't mean that you are, an imposter. It doesn't mean that you are, a phony, a fake. No, it means that you have learned a lesson and you're ready to make that change so that you can continue to impact. So I loved everything you said about that. Now we're going to go into a quick commercial, and then we'll be right back, and we'll talk about leadership mindset and what you have on with your podcast as well. So give
Okay.
me one moment, everyone.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JASCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you guys,
I know that
everyone,
guy.
for taking
I know
that.
guy.
Right? I know that guy. He's celebrating on Friday. He's having a triple stack gala that I'm super excited to go. Are you going over there Friday?
I can't. I know. I've been talking to Jose, and we had a prior commitment. I can't make it over there. I'm going to be on Saturday at Spencer's event, his workshop. That all those guys are going to go. But yeah, I'm really bummed. I really wanted to go, but we had a prior commitment with family and some friends. So
yeah, no worries. But I'm bummed too because I'm going to Jose's, but I can't go to Spencer's, and it breaks my heart. That's Mama's birthday. So he's already telling me that's my birthday, girl.
If I may add something, because I know we talk, one thing that I thought about when I was watching Jose, you were talking earlier about my struggles and everything else, and one thing I want to just emphasize here is about me starting at this point in time, I guess, reinventing myself. You're right. I want to mirror what you said, that it doesn't mean you're an imposter. Reinventing ourselves is a way. It's not changing who we are. It's changing how we're doing things and adjusting appropriately. There's a difference between reacting, being reactionary, or adjusting because the conditions change. And be the willingness to do that is leadership. It's like, okay, if we're rigid and this is my way or the highway, then that's not true leadership. Leadership is, okay, I have all the information I have right now, and I'm making this decision. But if the winds change, we have to be willing to adjust. And sometimes it's okay to change our mind about things, right? So, and then the other part I want to say is about the risk taking. As entrepreneurs, we take risks, and that's the definition, is a risk taker. And there's a difference between doing a blind risk or a calculated risk. Obviously, at 52, I can't take the same risks that a 20-year-old can, because they have a lot to lose. This intent doesn't mean I can't take risks. So when I jumped into entrepreneurship, into running, into building this business, I looked at a lot of those things. It was easy to stay with the W-2 and just having a job, and I've had that for many years. So having jobs and always had side businesses, but I looked at things. I looked at I had some money put aside. I brought in a business partner. We made some decisions, and even though it was risky, it wasn't just blindly jumping in and rushing the fields, right? And without planning it. So my point here is that, it never is too late to start. But you have to always be willing to look at the conditions that are there and make adjustments as necessary.
Absolutely. All of that is definitely important. Again, we just have to be ready for whatever comes our way. And the only way you can do that is to know that things will happen, and you're going to be ready for it, and it's going to be okay, and all that good stuff. So how important, do you have a coach? How important is it for viewers or people that are into the entrepreneur space to really kind of zone in on hiring a mentor or a coach? Or what is your take on that?
Oh, yeah, I know, it's a good point. So Megan and I, and we'll talk about her in a minute in the podcast, we talked in one of the episodes about mentors, and she started almost making fun of me because it's like, does a person your age have to get somebody older? It's like, does a mentor? I was like, really? Are you kidding? No, so obviously mentors are people that know things that you don't, or been in another place, regardless of age. That you can have a 30-year-old mentor, a 50-year-old, right? Now, I mentor a lot of people. myself, and I technically coach my clients and I help them navigate their strategy in their business. Myself, I believe in being able in having a coach or a mentor, because we all have blind spots. And the key to have, and so we're sometimes too close to things. So having somebody from the outside in look at how you're navigating through your business or different things to help you or help you navigate, at least bring things to your attention, I think is very powerful. The only condition I have there is be very careful about who that person is, because like my number one core value is trust. So you got to make sure that there's people that have permission to tell me and correct me, and some people that don't. Some people, everybody will give you their opinion, but you don't have to take all of theirs. But a coach or a mentor, make sure that person is somebody you trust, and not only from their skill set and what they bring to the table, but just literally trust them. So yes, I think it's very important to have that. I personally have a business coach, and many of you know him. His name is Michael Faber. I'm part of the Unleash You Now Mastermind, and very involved in that community and plan to be more involved. But if you want to, who's my business coach? That's him. He's a great guy and an incredible human being. But there's a lot of things he brings that I need. Even in my age, and he's younger than me, so it's okay to have somebody that's younger be a mentor.
Awesome. I actually coach, in my notary business and my Create Success program. I actually coach people that are older than me as well. And, one of the questions that I was asked this week, do you think I'm taking on too much due to my age? And I'm like, well, absolutely not. It's all finding a way and how it works for you. So I'm going to give you the strategies, give you the techniques, everything it is that you're going to need. But it's all in your mind. It's all how you think about it. So that was really important for me to ask, because it just, that's where it starts. When you start to kind of question yourself or doubt what your capabilities are, then you start listening into other people's opinions and comments, and then your decisions just crash from there. And, that's the unfortunate part of life, that we have to, kind of change our mindset and just do what's in our heart. God gives us the gifts. He gives us the talents, and he puts the right people. Michael Faber, phenomenal man. I was, so happy to finally meet him in person. He was on my podcast as well. Love everything he's about. So that's a great coach. I have multiple, I'm in like 5 or 6 different communities, because I feel that each person who leads each of those communities has something different to offer.
Oh, for sure.
But let's switch gears here, because I want to talk about the creative side of things that you and your beautiful daughter Megan, yes, and there you go. Oh my goodness, I haven't listened in yet, but I'm definitely going to get it. The link is scrolling below, so definitely go to the creativesideofthings.com, check out his podcast. Let us know like what goes on your podcast, and how did it start, and how is it going, and can't wait to hear about it.
I appreciate it. Gosh, this has been a dream of mine for a long time. Ever since I started High Ground, actually, I was going to do a podcast focusing on marketing and business development and strategy, which I know a lot about, and not only what to do, but what not to do. But what's interesting about it, I hired Megan as a contractor, kind of to help me kind of work through that. She's really good at organizing and just helping me sort my thoughts. She's a female version of me. Gosh, God forbid. We're very similar in everything we do, and that's why we really connect. But then what happened was, her and I were guests at Bobby Jones's podcast. If a lot of you know Bobby Jones, he has a podcast called the Extra Mile Podcast, and Bobby Jones is part of Unleash You Now, and it was father-daughter entrepreneurs, right? So we were guests, and during that time, we realized together, without talking about it, that there was this really cool chemistry between Megan and I, and we were already way deep into developing the podcast. For me, it was going to be called The Creative Side of Things, but it was all mountains and black and white, like all my branding for High Ground. And what happened was, we went to breakfast after that, and she brought it up. It's like, Dad, what would you think about me being in front of the camera with you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally was just thinking that. Weren't we awesome? It was so cool. That would be a fun thing to do. So literally at that moment, we did a pivot. Remember, we can change your minds and make adjustments. We did a pivot, threw out all the branding we had put together, all the things, and rebuilt, other than the name, the concept from the ground up. And here we are 6 months later. We launched a few weeks ago, and I felt the dynamic. I would want to watch a podcast of a father and daughter more like watching Javi talk about marketing. that's a lot more. That's a lot more for me, even myself. I don't mind hearing myself talk, but I rather listen to these guys, who's, having two different points of view from different generations, different, male, female, father, daughter, plus different generations, business owners, entrepreneurs. These two worlds clash at the same time. And with the last thing I'll say, the interesting thing about this concept, and I don't know if I've clarified this in the messaging, is that her and I, all we do is decide on a topic, and we don't talk about it until we record.
I love that. Just like we do here. I love it. It's organic.
Exactly.
It's free form. It's raw. I love that concept when I get on podcasts or people come on my podcast and they're like, well, what should I wear? What should I have? Do you have a list of questions? I'm like, no, show up comfortable. We are going to have a conversation just like we're having a virtual coffee, because I want your authentic self to shine, because it's truly what's in your heart and what you went through that I want to give my viewers. I want to give them people that they can relate to, when they're struggling through their problems and they're thinking, they're not going to be able to make it. They can't really foresee their future. And I have all these amazing guests that have the tools for them. Yeah, come your authentic self. They want to be able to relate. So I love that concept. I wish my son would do that with me. He's a little bit more on the shy side. So I'm going to have a conversation. I do have to bring him on for at least a recording, because I did hire him last summer. And I kind of want to take his take on it and stuff like that, because I'm really trying to inspire parents to really listen to their children, kind of partner up with them in a way where they're living out their dreams. They're not just thinking about school is great. We need it, obviously. But, there's so much more that I will get a job and that was it. Right.
Oh, for sure.
You can have your own business. I'm 40. Meg, go ahead.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean, you're right. That is an option, but that's just not the only option. That playbook doesn't work all the time for everybody like it used to. Megan has one semester of junior college, and she's been since her early 20s. She's 25, but since like 20, working on her own and building her two businesses. And I'm all for that. My middle daughter, Bella, is 19. He'll be 20 actually in March. And she works for me here at High Ground. And she also goes to the community college majoring in marketing. Surprise, surprise. So she's getting book knowledge there, but she gets practical knowledge here at the company. And I'll support anything wherever she wants to go. And she knows that entrepreneurship and building a business is an option. And one that's a really good option, but she has all the in front of her all these different things, and she's been exposed to, like you are exposing your son to these things. So I love when you talk to me about your son too, because I love that he's part of that with you. It gets you closer, and also they learn so many things because you're modeling the right things for them, for him. So
that's very important.
Yeah,
that's so important to me. So that's why we connected so well when you were saying, oh, you're working with your daughter. And, I got to meet her. She's amazing. Can't wait to meet your family. Can't wait to have her on the show and, highlight what she's doing. Absolutely phenomenal. It's been amazing. Javi, we're going to have to get you back on here on BALM, because, I just love speaking to you and what you're about and, what your mindset is when it comes to entrepreneurship and really getting out of your own way and, just making things happen for yourself. So I absolutely love that. We can get a hold of you. Tell us where we can get a hold of you and what are your final words for our viewers?
So for the company, highgroundcreative.com, and you can find us on Facebook as Get the High Ground, and also the creative side of things.com. If you go there, you'll see links to all the different. You can follow us, listen to us on the different platforms, Spotify, Amazon, and also we can watch us on YouTube. As far as the last words, what I'm going to say, I think it brings us full circle. We talked about being better people and be able to give, and we can't give what we don't have. So the important thing here is just to make sure that our businesses and our whatever we partake is not going to our self-esteem. If it's low, it's not going to outgrow our self-esteem. Is my point. So you can have, it's okay to focus on you and grow you, because then everything out of that goes well out of that, meaning anything grows. So my point here is, I know that I'm kind of babbling, is focus on you, and that's okay. It's not selfish for you to grow and have that growth mindset, because as you grow, then the world around you is better for it. So that's how I would part ways here with you today. And if you get knocked down when the troubles come, because they will come, just dust yourself off and learn from that and keep moving and keep focused on that goal and those dreams that you have. Don't give up on those.
Absolutely, 100%, 1,000% agree with you, Javi. Definitely do not ever give up on yourself, because you're the only one that can get you to where you want. When you have that belief in yourself, and when you don't have that belief, then get with people that are going to grow you into that. So thank you so much. I love that you said growth mindset, because that's what it's about. It's about the growth. It's about the next level. It's about what else can I do, not only for myself, but those around me. Mm-hmm. And trust me, that'll come back to you tenfold. So Javi, it's been an absolute pleasure. Absolutely love you. Thank you so much for coming on to BALM. You are now family. We are attached at the hip, and can't wait to tune into the creative side of things. Tell everyone I said hi. Thank you, everyone, for joining into another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. As I say, have a great day and make it count.